And I have the hiccups.
You have the hiccups?
Yeah, I'm so annoyed right now.
I just got a LaCroix, so I'm going to have those momentarily.
Freaking hiccups. And I have the hiccups. Oh, now it's repeating myself. Ah! I have to post this thing. Live stream. YouTube live. Here's the link. Watcher. September 2021 live stream. Select here. Almighty monitors and omnipotent observers. Welcome.
What's that?
Like
Chat.
Post now. Publish this ASAP.
It should all be rolling in soon.
Okay, published. Here we go. Here we go. We are in
live stream. Sorry,
I'm not scared of nothing. Let's go.
Yeah, we started at 2:01 today. I feel like that's better than we've done the past several months.
Very
Steven,
good.
did you recolor your hair for Worth It?
I colored it for no reason at all.
Scooched to your right a tad.
Was it an Irish?
No. I don't know what you mean.
Let's see here. I got the hiccups, guys, so I'm just gonna be pissed off until I get rid of these. So
Well, didn't we just talked on a Watcher Weekly about how to get rid of them?
why is it in there we go. Gallery view. Is it there we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was supposed to be Office Gang today, but it just didn't work out. It's not in the cards. My poor Obi is under the weather.
Oh.
It'll be okay. What's going on, folks? What do we got here?
Oh man, I would love a sign that said weather, and then you just put it over you whenever you feel sick, so everybody knows to stay away.
You're under the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you?
You said you would put the sign over you, right?
Yeah, the sign would go over
So
you.
that you'd be under the weather.
Yeah. I thought you said you put it under you.
It would be hard to put it above Shane though, because Shane, his head touches the clouds,
That's
so
true.
it's a bit difficult.
That's not true.
It's always under the weather. I guess we all are always under the weather, technically.
I'd like to note my blonde isn't all gone. I think there's
He's just got bleached tips now, like he's a
there's
back.
one tiny
Gary.
tip. Yeah, I was waiting till I could get rid of it all at once, but still very close. The guy who cut my hair, because I have never had like a dedicated hair man. I've always just gone. I'm a what do they call him? A journeyman. I'm a journeyman hair.
You say dedicated hair man?
Yeah, that's right. A barber.
That's what you call your barber? He's my hair man.
Oh, good question from James L about the tomatometer.
Oh, wait, what?
Tomatometer.
What about the tomatometer?
The tomatometer. James L says, how do you guys pronounce the Rotten Tomatoes word? Tomatometer.
Yeah, I mean, tomatometer is the correct pronunciation.
Really?
If you're going by other.
When we were there.
We did. I've always pushed that, and then Ryan and I were there once to do something for them, and we were talking to someone from Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, "It's pronounced tomatometer, right?" And they were like, "I've never heard that."
Well, that's because you wouldn't say thermometer, you wouldn't say thermometer.
Right, Ryan. I forgot that you were on board with this for some reason because we butt heads over so many things. I wouldn't think that you would agree with me on this, but yeah.
For anybody that's saying we're wrong, start calling it thermometer then.
Yeah, thermometer, barometer.
Yeah. Well, can you tell me what the temp is on that thermometer and have people look at you like you're insane?
Why don't you check the speedometer in your car?
Yeah. This car would be another one. Let's see what's another one. I
know one. I don't want to say it because I'm trying to think of an example against you guys, and I can't.
Well, what
you can't.
Kilometer.
Oh yeah, not
kilometer. Some people could say kilometer.
I guess you could. Either way, we're right. So,
the hiccups are killing me.
What else is going on out there?
I have a question. Help me in the comments how to get rid of this stupid hiccup thing.
He'll do it right now. Well,
Hey, you have a content warning for that, man.
It didn't
Oh,
work.
it
And
didn't
it didn't
work.
work either.
Damn, I thought it worked.
What if
but
I just whacked you in the nuts really hard?
Then we would have multiple problems at the company, including a sexual harassment claim.
I thought you were saying multiple problems because you were talking about the multiple nuts.
I think it's known that Ryan and I have sort of been here and there shooting some unsolved, and we've been back out there. It's been good. But there was a moment in one of the episodes where Ryan, that scream you just did, I don't know if that's going to be featured in the episode, but there's a moment
Oh, yeah, it's
where,
pretty good.
where you uttered a scream very similar to that. And it cracks me up. It's very funny.
Temperature meter.
Temperature.
Oh, yeah, but it's not a real word. James said.
Yeah, that's not a word.
They said temperature meter. You can't use that in an argument. Like, it's like arguing about like what's the fastest land mammal and being like, well, if a unicorn was a land mammal, then they would probably be that.
Exactly right. And I don't think it would be. That's just a regular horse.
Well, I mean, it has a horn though. It doesn't have fucking wings too?
If anything, I think those would make it less aerodynamic. But
That's
let me
true.
see.
The wings would probably make it pretty tough for it to sprint. But obviously, it would never sprint. It would just fucking fly.
Let's see.
Man,
A horse's
unicorn would be fucked up, dude. It could like ram you and just really just mess up your insides with that horn.
Right. I want you guys to guess what the top speed of a horse is. I'm curious what you guys think. I just looked it up.
35 miles an hour.
No, that's too slow.
50?
52.
Steven, you're pretty close. 55.
I was gonna say 55, but it sounds too obvious. Okay.
And while we're there,
horsepower.
While we're there, then guess what a cheetah would be? Which obviously cheetah fastest land mammal.
90.
Ryan,
what
would you guess a cheetah's top speed would be?
Oh, that's like 65.
Ryan's closer. It's 70.
Yeah. Next time I'm on a horse, I'm going to be like, hey, you guys know the horsepower on this bad boy?
1.
And the horse looks up at you and it's like, I heard that one.
It's good. It's good. Why do we compare it to horses? It doesn't make any sense. I guess it does.
It does.
But when something has like 300 horsepower, that would make me feel like I should be going whatever 300 times 50 is, which is.
I'd like to.
What is 300?
Circling back to the tomatometer thing, Limlaugh Love says, imagine working at Rotten Tomatoes and never bothering to argue about this in the office. That's what really blew my mind. Ryan and I were like,
15,000.
What?
You can do that in your head, man.
300 times 50?
Yeah.
That's too much work. But 300 times 50, well, when they say, oh, this engine has 300 horsepower, I would want to assume then that would mean I could go the top speed of 15.
Power and speed are different.
Well, what does that mean? How does that? I think I should be going 15,000 miles per hour then, which would be sick because then I could go to the moon.
It's calculated through the power needed to move 550 pounds 1 foot in 1 second.
Yeah.
So
it's about force as well.
So how fast would you go? What's the top speed for 300 miles, 300 horsepower?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, dude.
God,
get a life, man.
This guy brings up topics, doesn't know the answer.
I don't know, and I tell you to go fuck yourself.
I tried every suggestion on the hiccups in the chat, and none of them worked. So,
well, you didn't let me hit you in the nuts,
except for the one that was upside down. But I can't do that right now. I mean, I guess I could. Should I do that? It said stand upside down and drink water.
Oh, I've heard that. I think that's just a joke. I think people do that to people just to get a good laugh.
I've heard
there's no way that works.
I've heard if you twerk upside down against a wall, that does a pretty good job.
Oh, okay. Hold up. I'm glad this room is visible to our employees.
Yeah.
You gotta stand on your head and pour water down your butthole, and then.
Petite Wonder says, Ryan, are you frequently on horses? And that just makes me think of your. Was Crazy your only horse experience?
It was my only horse experience. Crazy. It was a one-time ordeal. It was in Hawaii. I was like 11 or 12.
All right.
And I almost got thrown in the creek.
Okay. Wow, he's really going for it.
Need some water.
Now jiggle.
Do I need to pour the water into your mouth?
How do you drink water like that? How does somebody drink water
I
like
don't know,
that?
but let's try it. Do it. Get it out of your head.
Okay.
This is for science. Wait.
Oh God!
Oh, they
I can
can't.
make it.
No, well, you can make it. You can make it.
I still have the hiccups.
All right, now open your mouth.
You got it. You got it.
Don't use your tongue like that. It's weird. Did it work? I don't know why you tongued the cup like that. I didn't like that.
Oh no! I'm still here.
Oh, you still got
Didn't
it?
work.
No. Maybe it'll like kick in. Maybe it takes a minute. I broke
Someone
my
said they
ribs.
broke your ribs doing that?
Oh, they're ribs. Oh.
How did you break your ribs doing that?
Molly
Well,
Elves was bitten
Oh,
by
someone
a
said
horse
hold the
in
water in your mouth and then go upside down. That
Yeah,
makes
We're
so
on
much
different
more sense.
conversations here.
that was
I've
fine,
seen
that was
someone
fine.
get bit by a horse.
Someone got bit by a horse?
Molly Elves.
Sucks. I bet you it hurts like hell.
Has anybody got any other
so
questions
big.
out there? I'll tell you what. I'll give you a weather update because I know we like to give those. Absolutely fucking gorgeous in LA today. It's like cloudy.
I want my son back.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Where'd Steven go? Oh,
Okay, now put it in your mouth and then go upside down and drink it. That's the key. Okay. That makes so much more sense. I don't know. I've always wondered. I thought that was just a joke that people put on it.
Simone trying to put a stop to this by telling Steven to just eat some bread. I don't like horses' eyes. They don't look right.
Yeah,
they sort of have like
scary.
goat eyes, right? Those sort of
Did you drink
oblong.
it?
Stay here, I'll go.
Maybe just stay there.
It's rushing the blood to my head, which kind of hurts.
Yeah.
It's still gone. That's right here.
Yeah. A horse
what
is
am I-
really scary.
One of my regrets about the horse puppets on Puppet History is that they didn't have those oblong pupils, which they even reference in the song. We haven't talked about Midnight Mass. Ryan, I don't think you've watched that, right? Have you started that?
I have not, but the trailer does indeed kick ass.
I watched it all and I have some thoughts, but we're not going to
You
get
watched
into them
it all?
It's only 7 episodes.
What show? What show? Sorry.
That's 7 hours.
Yeah, man.
Which
I was
other
tired
night?
this weekend.
Oh man.
What are you watching?
Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass. Looks
I've
good.
never even heard of it. I'm a mainstream kind of person, so I watch Squid Game.
I mean, it was pretty mainstream.
Yeah,
sure.
Squid Game. I was seeing that was #1 trending.
Sarah was watching that.
I don't know what that is.
I feel like you guys would love it.
It
Is it
was pretty.
Squid Game or
I only
Unscripted?
saw a little bit of the first episode, but I was very intrigued.
It's a K-drama, and it's #1 on Netflix, and it's kind of like, I don't want to spoil it because it's like you got to get into it, but there's a lot of violence, and it's kind of like Black Mirror-esque meets Hunger Games. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, very good show.
I'll have to check it out.
A lot of commentary on just social, it's kind of, it reminded me of Parasite in a way, like in the social commentary it makes. And like, it also dives into game theory a little bit too.
I love that Parasite meme that's starting to circulate now of the, I forget the actor's name, but him driving and then that lady in the back complaining, the rich lady in the back complaining. The meme, it's a good meme format. Oh, also Succession trailer coming out, really good.
I haven't watched that. I'm just gonna watch it.
I feel like that came and went.
I mean, not me,
I couldn't wait for season 3 after season 2. All right, let's get some questions in here.
Let's get some questions.
What do we got?
Pause after. Let's get some
Oh,
questions.
we gotta read some questions here. Oh my god.
Ooh, how are we feeling about the Mario movie?
You know what?
I think
Fun
it's gonna
cast.
be fun.
I've seen people shitting on it. I'm like, here's the thing. I've just at this point, I'm just like, I don't want to shit on any movie before it comes out. I'm like, hey, maybe it'll be good. Like, I've seen so many people are like, that movie's gonna suck, and I'm like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Fun cast.
Yeah,
I'll
but
go
there's
see
still
it.
the same people that are gonna go see it. Is the thing. Like that's
the thing. Yeah.
Like you're not gonna not see Mario Bros. In theaters when it comes out.
I will not be seeing it. Yeah.
You're not going to see that movie.
Why?
Why would I watch it in theaters?
Because it's Mario
It's
Bros.
just fucking Mario, bro.
Are you not going to go to the Mario Bros. World, like Super Mario?
Oh yeah, for sure. The world.
Well, what is the difference?
That's a huge difference.
That's weird.
Cinema.
Um,
I've never imagined Mario to be much of an actor.
Yeah.
It's more of a
I
plumber.
don't know about Chris Pratt in there, but everybody else is really good. Chris Pratt's sort of like a non-entity at this point. I'm there for him in Guardians of the Galaxy, but everything else, I'm like, he could never be in a movie ever again, and I'd be content.
I don't mind it. I enjoy his acting, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I don't think I don't like Jurassic World, but I don't know if that has anything to do with him.
You certainly don't like it as much as I do. As you know, I'm the number one fan.
That's true. You're the Jurassic World #1 fan.
It's the first time I've just accepted the bit.
I didn't even set it up that time, too.
No, I just went.
That's the war of attrition right there. Chris Pratt?
That's pretty funny. I've never
that's-
seen people call him that.
So, well, is it because he's canceled? Like, what is?
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
up to date on this.
I don't
He
know.
just seems like kind of a douche.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I think it's also that kind of like thing where like someone gets really popular and then people just start to hate them for some reason.
That's
That
not. I
seems
think there's
to
a
be-
lot of other people that are very popular who people don't hate. Nobody
that's
hates
not-
Paul Rudd.
That's true. He's an exception.
I do not like him.
Uh-huh.
I've been very
Really?
clear about that on this live stream too. I'm not a fan.
You despise Paul Rudd.
He's too perfect. What's up with that? Like, he's just like too nice.
He seems like a
Who's
nice guy.
Exactly.
You know what? I really
Actually,
love.
I was watching a documentary recently that talked about. Oh, it was the Billie Eilish documentary on Apple. She talks about like she has this like insane fear of getting too popular because she's worried that people are going to hate her, and she was right in some sense. That's true. People started to hate her, which I was like, oh man, that's weirdly. That's such a. Her trajectory was so high in the time because it covers her as she's making her first album when she's like not
Right.
unknown, but she at that time, like people didn't really know her music for the most
This is when
part.
Colin Weatherby was working on it.
Oh, that was the doc you worked on. Man, the doc is so good. It's crazy to watch her make some of the iconic songs in her bedroom
Yeah.
and then talking about things like, I don't want to, people hate when things get too mainstream.
Yeah.
That's just a human condition thing that
But
I've always
but
found
to have
fascinating.
that like thought when you're like what 15 or whatever she was.
Well, I mean, she's in the thick of it, so she probably understands it. But to know that she's on the trajectory where like, oh, people are going to eventually not like me because of what my trajectory is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is not going away. And by the way, if Matt Stafford does not come to his live stream in the next 40
Maybe
minutes,
he's busy today. I'm actually
He is.
surprised. He's usually around.
he's demoted from #1 fan. So Matt Stafford.
Molly Elves said they played Spiritfarer, which is a great game for Switch. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Eastward, which is equally very soothing. Those are my hot video game takes this week. I play like one video game every 3 months.
Yeah, I wish I could play video games.
Did you guys listen to Montero?
Oh, dude, I can't wait. It's on my list. I listen to albums by drives. So like,
Oh,
I like
interesting.
I like going on a drive and listening to an album all the way through. So I'm waiting for a drive for Montero. Sometimes I'll do it on an airplane if I'm not like. I like Drake. His music he's like not in my top 5 MCs, but like he makes fun party music. So I listened to his album on the plane. It was all right. There's a couple bangers in it, but well, I mean, we've been in the air so much lately, so I also
We've
listen
been
to
all over the place.
a bunch of other music as well.
You've been in the weather.
Yeah, we've been in the weather. I still haven't opened my Red Dead Redemption 2 video game that I purchased 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
I've thought about replaying it because it was just.
And that's
such
not
a-
because I don't like it. I just finished Red Dead Redemption 1, like I want to say 7 months ago.
Did you finally finish it?
I finally finished it.
You
And
had like
I'm
you were like
excited
in the epilogue, right? For like 4 years or something, and you were like, "Yeah, I just gotta finish it." I was like, "You're so close."
It just takes so long. I just don't have I find myself not having that much free time. So I just
Yeah.
I do
Levy,
want to play.
I want
console
to.
It's on
Levy, I love
Xbox.
RimWorld. RimWorld's great.
What's a good Xbox game for like Tammy?
For Tammy, what kind? Does she play a lot of games ever?
No, she wants
Like,
to get into. She never had a console growing up, and we just got an Xbox. So, like, looking at games, she get like she likes to binge.
yeah, I guess
shows, so.
Xboxes are one way to get into
Let's see if we have some more questions
consoles.
here. Can we drop any unsolved hits? That comes from Catlin. Not really, but I will say that we caught Shane doesn't know this yet, but we've caught some of the best EVPs we've ever caught.
Well,
in my
I'm thrilled for you because boy,
there's
some of
good
those
shit.
shoots felt bone dry.
Yeah, but that's just not how paranormal investigating goes. Here's PT Wonder says, do you believe in the symbolic importance of dreams translating into real world significance? Or are you just like, nah, dude, just neurons firing and stuff?
Wait, where's that?
You can keep this screen open and scroll.
I don't even see that in there.
How the hell do you do that?
Just scroll.
Oh. Do I believe in?
Yeah, I think so.
I've always wondered what dreams are. I think dreams sometimes are sometimes a subconscious thing, but apparently there's two trains of thought when it comes to like people in the know, like in terms of people who are psychological professionals. Some people tend to be in the camp that dreams mean nothing and that they actually are just random, as you say, neurons firing and shit. And then other people seem to think that they indicate some sort of like deeper want or need, some conscious desire. I tend to believe it's a combination because I have a lot of dreams that are nonsense. One time I had a dream that I was riding a giant star naked over the universe.
That's clearly one of the camps, though.
And that clearly is, that one's meaningful because that's exactly what I want to do. Actually, that does sound pretty sweet. That was a joke, but now I actually mean it. That would be sick as hell.
Sick.
To ride a star?
You know, like the star that you could ride in like Smash Bros. That like.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah.
I was playing a lot of Smash Bros. At the time. I'm trying to think of another dream that was like. I have a lot of dreams that are persistent, reoccurring dreams, and those I think mean something because it's the same dream every single time. There's different characters that are cast. Like sometimes Shane might be there, or like some of my friends or my family.
I got eaten by a snake once, right?
Well, that was a very specific one-time dream, not a recurring one, but the recurring one that happens all the time. I think I've said it on this show, is that I will be driving on a freeway on some sort of fast-moving street, and I go to hit the brakes in the car, and the brakes don't work, and I can't slow the car down. And then just before the car crashes, I wake up. And it happens. I have that dream maybe once a week.
You ever crashed?
No. Well, no, I have crashed. Yeah.
Wow.
I hydroplaned and did like
Whoa.
a barrel roll. But in
That
the
sounded
dream,
freaky.
it's so scary because it seems so real every time, even though I have that dream all the time. And every time I wake up, I'm like,
Yeah.
you got me again, brain, with the same dream, that horrible, paralyzing fear that I can't stop this vehicle. What that may mean, I have no idea.
I know what it means.
I think it means I feel like I have no control over my life, which is probably what that means.
Maybe.
What do you think it means?
I think it means you're a bad driver.
No, Ryan's a very good driver.
Racist.
Can't say anything because.
That's the one dream I have all the time. That and I didn't study for a test, and now I've walked
Yeah.
into school and
I still get
walk
that
into
every
class.
now
I'm
and
like, oh shit, I didn't study for this. Or this one happens a lot too. I'll be walking around school, and it'll be like 3/4 of the way through the semester or the year, and I'll realize, have I not been going to my history class this
I get
entire
that
year?
all the time. Yeah, where you're like,
wait, did I not? Have I been absent this entire year? And should
Yeah.
I walk in now? Or sometimes I actually walk in the dream, and the teacher's like, "Who are you?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's oh, so you have that dream too, then, Shane? That's really
I still
weird.
have that all the time where I'm like, have I
Sucks.
been going to this? Have I missed all this? Am I gonna fuck this up?
What does that mean then? See, that
I
must
don't know.
mean that-
It probably has some deeper meaning, but to me, it always means that I hated school.
I did hate school quite a bit.
I mean, I get it too, and I didn't hate school.
Well, you have that dream.
I liked a lot of school. There were just certain
I think it's a
classes
universal
that I was always very
dream.
stressed
Everybody
out
has
about.
that dream.
But it must be speaking to some sort of basic human fear or need, because obviously for all three of us to have it, I feel like, you know, it must mean something.
Look, everybody else has it too.
Losing teeth, I've gotten that a couple times.
I got that one a few times.
But nothing is more frequent than the car moving and I can't stop it. Does anyone else have that? Did anybody have that in the comments?
I don't have that one.
That one is horrifying. Because it's not like, I missed this class all year. It's like, oh, I'm going to die. And the worst part is usually the people in the car are people that I care about. So it's like, fuck, I'm going to kill everybody.
The one that I get a lot is like, regardless of like what I need to run away from, it's not like a Freddy Krueger or anything, but any situation, like I have to move fast, but like my entire body is just like, it's like I'm really slow, and also like, you know, that kind of sleepiness where you're like, you can barely keep your eyes open. It's like I'm being pulled to the ground and sleepy and slow, and I like can't get away from something.
I see. I don't think I've had that one. Let's see. I'm trying to see if people are agreeing with anything.
I have the locker combo one.
Someone says, what, locker combo?
You forget your locker combo?
I never had that one.
I get that one all the time.
Just go to the you know, the office.
Trick says I think it means GAD, which actually maybe you might be right, because I did recently find out like 6 months ago that I do have GAD. That I did not know that, but it explains a lot of my life. Let's see here. I don't think I've actually said that out loud before. So there's the breaking news there on that one.
All the comments in the history show are like, hey, shout out to Ryan's therapist.
Yeah, shout out to my therapist, dude. He's doing a good job. As you can see by me being very awake right now and having dreams of killing my loved ones in the car.
I know that dream where you called me baby. Oh, that was real life.
It felt like a dream to you though, right? Let's see. Lucid dreaming would be sick as hell. I had a car that's impossible. I had a car on an impossibly tall bridge. An impossibly tall bridge. That sounds like fun. Or maybe not. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't feel great. These hiccups are
Yeah, it's really taking a lot out of you.
I'm gonna go do one of these guys here. You guys take over. I'm just gonna chill back here.
Yeah, I got you. We got you.
Let's see what we got here. All right, let's move to there was another question under this. It's just we really latched onto that one because dreams are fucking weird, man.
Yeah, we got to get out of there. We got to get out of the dream zone.
I never am out of the dream zone. I'm always 4 layers deep, dude.
You better be careful.
What, dude? Let me roll my totem.
You're gonna be in unconstructed dream space soon.
Well, that's the fucking space I love to occupy, Mom Frere.
You are waiting for a train.
Hey man, I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago. Cowboy shit, baby.
You know what? I haven't watched that in a while.
I'm not gonna celebrate the end of I told you the story that I watched. A lady watch that on the plane, right? Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Watch a lady watch.
There was this old Asian lady. Not old. That's rude. She was like, I want to say 75. She was old enough that like that's an old Asian lady. Like she was like an old little Asian lady, and she, for whatever reason, this is the part that's the craziest to me because obviously there are times when you're on a flight and they have in-flight entertainment. It's on your little screen. You're like, oh, let me browse the movies here and see what I want to watch. This was not one of those cases. She had an iPad, which good for her for keeping up with tech, and had downloaded for the flight Tenet. And I could see that she hadn't started it yet. And when the movie started playing, I was like, I will admit, I looked over because I was right next to her. I was like, I wonder what this lady's watching. And Tenet came on the screen and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh boy, I really hope this is her first time because she's about to be very confused. And what I watched unfold for the next 6-7 hours was her trying to finish Tenet. But she must have hit rewind on the screen upwards of 50 times. She kept watching scenes and then pressing the rewind, little 15-second rewind button a couple times because she just, and to be fair, if I had the ability the first time I was watching it, I would have done the same thing because it was impossible to understand. Shane and I had very different experiences watching this movie. I watched it in a theater because we had a hookup at a theater because of a friend, and they allowed us to just kind of sit in the theater and watch it when it came out. And I didn't have the luxury of rewinding that film. Shane watched it at home, so he was able to rewind it willy-nilly.
We did it a few times.
I think
we did it a few times. Oh, big time.
Because I was like, the whole movie, I knew it was a tough movie to understand, but I consider myself a pretty savvy film watcher. Yeah. And I was
me too, yeah.
It was breaking my concept of that because like I was like, wow, is this really that hard to follow, or am I really stupid? And after the movie, I looked online and was happy to see that no, that movie's just out of control and impossible to follow. And the dialogue is so hard to hear and poorly mixed. And they talk
when they were Nolan's a mess. When they were talking about the Freeport, we were like, hang on. What?
Yeah, that was me the whole movie. That's my review. Hang on, what? Or can you rewind
I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago.
Yeah, dude.
That's going to be my new, these pretzels are making me thirsty. I saw someone alluding to a question above. This is movie adjacent, but it's also Stephen can weigh in on this as well. Lim Laugh Love says, help me settle an argument with Mr. Lim Laugh Love. What is the best place to sit in a cinema? And why is it not the front row? I'd say the only movie I've ever seen in a front row is The Mummy Returns. And it was a little rough.
What is the best place and why is it not the front row?
Well, it depends. Okay, it depends how close the front row is to the screen.
I've never met a front row seat that I was pleased to sit in.
Me neither. And I know a lot of chains nowadays are doing the work and being sort of kind to the customer and keeping some space between the screen and the front row. Back in the day, you'd just be like right up against it. Still don't care for it though. I like to go.
I've tried it 3 times, and all 3 times I walked out and exchanged my ticket for the next day.
I like to go like halfway back between in the back half, usually to one side. I'm usually to the left. That's kind of my jam.
A lot of theaters that I frequent, at least one in my hometown, used to have this like, there's like the pit that had all like, the front row and like the several rows behind it, and then there's like a walkway to get into the theater, and then there's like
the walkway
section.
The second walkway is always pretty sweet too.
And there's
the middle of that is like
of that second walkway, and
that's
always
pretty good.
Has some sort of railing or something for
great.
safety purposes. But for me, excellent foot holder.
Yeah.
And I remember this is back in the day when you had to actually wait in line for a midnight premiere that was actually coming out at midnight. But I waited
You'd run
8 hours for Dark Knight. And me, my friend Henry, and my friend Tucker waited 8 hours for this film, and my dad as well. And we got in the theater, and we immediately, because we were near the front, secured our railing seats, which we all were stoked about. We were talking nothing about, we were just so stoked about these railing seats. And I said, oh, I'm going to go get some popcorn. And then my dad and my friend Henry were like, yeah, I'll go get some popcorn with you too. Tucker, can you save the seats? And Tucker said, okay. We come back, and Tucker is now, so the way it worked was, let's call this the railing. The railing ends here, and then the rest is just seats. So the railing is really kind of more like centered to the left. When we come back in, Tucker is now all the way pushed into the center. There's no more railing. And I kind of just looked at him with a dumbfoundment because I couldn't process what had just happened. And my friend said, why are you sitting over there? And he's like, well, these people came in and they were like, hey man, could you scoot over? And I was like, yeah. And I've never seen those two get more angry at each other than that. They had like a full-blown blowout in front of the entire theater. And I just remember the guy who like had asked him to scoot over kind of just like slowly scooted down so that we could get the railing seat back.
Are you going back?
We did, because the guy was like, oh, clearly they cared a lot about this railing seat, which is weird because we did care a lot about it. We talked about it the entire line, like, oh, I can't wait to rest my feet on that railing and have some popcorn.
I can't believe Tucker just did it though.
He was just like,
rolled over and let it happen.
I know, after 8 hours of waiting. I tell you, when I saw Red, I've never killed a man, but Got
But
close.
hey, I mean,
got close.
that's a good tip though. If you do, because that could have been just staged. Like you just argue, and then they get so awkward they move out of the way. Like that could have just been part of the plan.
That is true. But anyways, I like the railing seat. There's usually some sort of railing seat. But the second level, the first couple rows of that is where I like to be, because I like to see the screen and not see just barely see the periphery of the edges. Because whenever I don't, it's almost like it kind of breaks the immersion for me.
Do you prefer the back row or the front row?
The back row is too far because I could see it. That makes it feel like I'm just watching a giant television screen.
Choose one, back or front.
I can't believe some people grew up without just fully assigned seats their entire lives, because it's crazy to me that it took so long for them to figure that out with movie theaters.
Sure.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. I mean, also that has encouraged some really bad movie patronage behavior. Like, don't be the person who has the assigned seat and then uses that so that they could come in like 5 minutes into the movie starting, because they know they don't have to rush.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's
like
cut down on a lot worse behavior of people being like, so I'm saving, saving like.
That's not necessarily true, because what happens is those people, well, some people, I guess, do this thing where they will sit in a seat that's not assigned to them because they think, oh, that person's not showing up. And then that person who's showing up 5 minutes into the movie will go, hey, you're in my seat. And now there's this like argument unfolding. I mean, I'm just trying to watch my movie, man. Like,
this happens very rarely to me, but I know you go to AMC more.
Oh my God, dude. Fucking elitist arc-light behavior, of course. You're right. It does happen quite frequently. It happens a lot. This happened just recently to me at the Grove. I was sitting watching Free Guy, and just a heated discussion right next to my head in the key moments of exposition in the beginning of the film. And I was not happy. I've long thought about starting a movie theater chain of my own with the most strict rules. You're not allowed to have a phone. You drop your phone off in a little box before. That'll be secure.
We should go into this together. How hard can it be to start a national
theater
chain?
Hard. Hell, I'll even do intros for the movies. I'll walk out with a little microphone and be like, hey, guys, enjoy the meal.
I would love to do that.
Well, not the meal. I guess enjoy the film, which I call a meal sometimes.
That's what I loved so much about the ArcLight, when they come out and they're like, hi there.
Yeah.
I
would let's off some rules here, Shane. Let's just do this right now. Okay, number one, drop your cell phone off at the door. That's
good. Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing.
At like secret premieres, they'll just give you a bag. You put your phone in there, and then you can't. It's like one of those like electronic where you go to the store and they have to magnetize to open it up. That's what you do. You just give them the bag.
That sounds really expensive, though.
No, it's not, because then you return the bag when you're done.
Oh, then maybe I'll do that. Whatever. Either way, you're giving me your phone in some way or fashion. You're not turning it on.
Yeah.
You're not talking. You're not texting. I hate when somebody fucking has their
just looks at it.
Almost always sitting a couple rows in front of me in the middle of the movie. Yeah. They'll be like, "Oh, let me check my fantasy team," and like all of a sudden,
breaks the immersion.
Their whole being is lit up, and now I'm seeing their douchey silhouette.
Yeah, that's why I actually like at Alamo and ArcLight. They're like, we don't want to see your phone. If we see your phone, you could get booted.
I would invest in technology that makes a robot that when it sees a face illuminated by a screen, that's now a target for it to slingshot a fucking M&M at that person's head.
Or the seats, or the seats have tasers in them.
Oh, dude!
You're gonna
tase their ass.
Game.
Oh man, that'd be so sick. Or just like a little needle goes into their butt cheek, just like a little prick, just like a little. Hey,
dude, what if they have
that's probably not much worse, but it sounds worse. I think once
I think the taser's probably worse. You could probably die from a taser.
It's possible, but we'll make them sign whatever they have to sign.
We'll make them sign the butt waiver. So that's number one. Phones are out. Number two, you can't enter the theater past when. Let's call it when the movie starts. Movie starts, you're no longer allowed.
Oh, absolutely. They should have those like those like slotted gates that can only move one way when you go through them.
Oh yeah.
Or almost like a turnstile. You shouldn't be able to enter after the.
Yeah, that's what Broadway does. You can't walk into a Broadway show.
Right.
Yeah. Why does cinema not get the same respect This is what Alfred Hitchcock did this for all his movies. He made theaters not let people in once the movie began.
In fact, Ryan, I mean, what about this? You present the film, you introduce it, and right after you do that, you put a big chain around the door and
That's
you
right.
padlock it. And then you say, now yous are locked in here with me. Or now yous are locked in here with cinema.
Or I just lock it, just enjoy the show. And then I walk out. I drop through like a fucking dropped hatch, and it's a slide into a ball pit below the theater.
What if instead of a slide, a rope drops down, you grab it, and they get pulled up into the ceiling?
Oh, dude, that's sick too. Like a Batman grappling gun kind of situation.
Yeah.
I like that. So that's
obviously
that's number 2.
Number 3, even though this almost should be number 1, no funny corn.
No funny corn. That's man.
I mean, I almost don't think there should be any other snacks whatsoever.
I don't think so either. Yeah, because I don't like when the theater smells like a hot dog, or people digging into chicken tenders in the middle of a theater. What the hell is that about?
Dude, that's awesome. I love it.
You shouldn't be. How do people have a full meal in a theater and concentrate?
I don't know.
Like,
I really don't know.
When you're at home, you get super hungry.
Yeah, but when you're eating a burger, it takes your attention away from
it does, because
like chips and dip you can do it.
Popcorn's perfect.
Nachos,
so, I mean,
nachos. An argument could be made for nachos. That's fair, because a nachos.
But even then, nachos, you still, depending on if you're dipping, size. I guess it's fine. But it still requires a little bit of. You got to check in and be like, am I dripping on myself? Am I dipping? Yeah, am I grabbing cheese right now? What's happening? With popcorn, you can just sort of feed like a little crustacean on the ocean floor, just sort of moving it to your mouth without even processing what you're doing.
It's mindless eating. In fact, it actually adds to the experience, because it's becomes almost like a physical experience.
The other thing
but without the mind, you don't have to use the mind to locate the popcorn kernels.
Yeah.
That's why drinks are okay too. Slurpees, totally fine. Beer, great. Wine, coffee, I don't care. That's fine, because you don't have to think about that. But a fucking burger. I remember I went to this one theater, I forget what it was called. I think they're out of business probably for this reason. I think it was called iPick. And I
remember. I think they're still around.
Are they still around?
Maybe they shut down some locations, but they were. Yeah.
Fish and chips.
Wait, no, you can eat fish and chips.
Absolutely not. You
can't
want to bring fish at a movie theater?
Yeah.
Jesus. Guys raised in a barn.
I was.
Now, Ryan, this is going to be a little out there, but I want to know what you think of this. What if, because a lot of theaters, if you bring your own pop or something, you got to wait till everybody laughs till you can crack it open. What if, because we have such an appreciation for the art of homemade popcorn, we don't discourage people from bringing in their own popcorn, but we do have to check it to make sure that it is not funny corn.
I was about to say there needs to be some.
You got to pay like a little tax to a kernel connoisseur who sort of checks it before you get in, and he's like,
you'll be like the popcorn friars at the front, just checking. Here's a little tax to pay for your sins. I'll take a kernel,
right?
And if it tastes like nacho cheese, you're getting kicked to the curb. And you're being banned from the theater, because
in fact, if they bring their own popcorn and the kernel connoisseur approves of it, they get a discount on the movie.
See, I like that. That's encouraging the behavior of good popcorn making.
You do not have our business, man. That sounds like you would lose. I mean, movie theaters make money on popcorn and drinks. That's where they make their money.
This guy doesn't get it.
Hey, he doesn't. It's not for profit, dude. It's not for profit.
Like a corking fee.
You could consider this charity, to be honest.
Oh, Carlisle has Ryan, I'm going to toss this one over to you. What is considered funny corn?
Oh, that's pretty much anything that's not butter and salt on the kernels, my guy, or gal, or they.
And there's usually an oil involved. I'm pretty forgiving with the oil. You got your canola. I like an olive oil here and there. I don't mind a coconut oil, though I can find it to be a bit sweet. Avocado oil also works for me. Ron, are you a canola man?
Yeah, with the process of cooking the kernels is like, there's several different ways of doing it. That's okay. That's within the realms. But I am sometimes when I want that classic movie theater experience, I'll go canola oil. But I'm always a big proponent of the coconut oil. I like the coconut oil.
I like the coconut oil. I like the coconut oil.
But I will say that anything that is not butter and
I
salt.
like in the comments there, Spike says, "You're eating funny corn, dude." I don't know who they're talking to.
Yeah, it's what was I going to say here? Can't remember. No, I just like it's basically discouraging the main culprits of funny corn, like caramel corn or caramel. I don't know, however you pronounce it.
Kettle corn.
Kettle corn. What's up with that? Cheese corn. Some people are getting crazy out there, like Fruity Pebbles corn. Like stop
Absolutely not. No.
No. Popcorn's a beautiful thing. You don't need to dress it up. Stop ruining.
If you, Ryan,
God's gift to Earth.
have you ever had what's the name of that store? Am I thinking of Home Goods or World? Maybe I'm thinking of Cost Plus World Market. They have a brand of bagged popcorn that is coconut oil and pink Himalayan salt.
I saw this and see that we're not super sticklers on the funny corn in terms of, as long as it's not like adding an insanely sweet flavor profile, it's within the realm. Like
well, even that is just oil, salt, and it is every time we go there to buy a little tchotchke or whatever it's near the place where we get Obi's kitty litter. So we'll stop in there, look at all the snacks and stuff. I always buy 2 big ass bags of it because it's the best bagged popcorn you can find out there on the market.
Yeah, I find that coconut oil is a good butter substitute because it doesn't make me feel as bad. It tastes pretty dang similar to butter, just a little bit lighter. And I don't really even find it to be that sweet. I just feel better about myself when I cook it with the coconut oil. I don't know if that's actually true.
Does England have bad popcorn culture? Because when I remember last year when we were there for VidCon, you guys went to see a play and it was kind of rainy and I walked around for a while and then I went to go see 1917 by myself and it was like just
I still can't believe you did that. Dude.
It was such an experience.
Move.
It was so
goes to the UK, doesn't see a play, just goes to a movie theater that he could see anywhere in the world.
You know what? It actually made me want to see movies in other countries more because I was like, it was not something I would ever think to do, but I was just like,
no, it's good. It doesn't make any sense.
It was incredible.
The kicker though, Shane, is you were like, I'm too tired, guys. I don't think I can make it out. True. And then we were like, oh, I guess he does. That makes sense. He can't make it out. He's not coming to the play.
It was, it was kind of
I want to go see the 1917.
Decision.
And I was like, on stage, I hope.
It was really good. But well, the other thing is like Sarah and I had just been to London for like 10 days a few months before that. So I was like, well, it's not like I've got a lot to see here. I really, really saw the town pretty recently. But I gotta say, the movie going experience was really good. The popcorn left a little to be desired. It was sweet by default. It was kettle corn. And I was like, do you have any buttered? And they were like, no, we don't.
That makes sense though, because I mean, not that this is a 1-to-1 transfer, but I do recall being in the UK and asking for some ranch and they just gave me a cup of mayonnaise. I don't know
with pepper mixed in.
It's like they Google image searched ranch and saw, okay, it's white with little black specks in it. They tried to recreate it in the kitchen. Is that a normal thing? Is that just a thing in the UK that ranch?
Maybe that's their ranch.
Ranch does not exist.
I don't think they have ranch over there, honestly. I mean, maybe they do at some American restaurants, but yeah, I don't think it's a big thing.
I guess they don't eat ranch. Yeah, that's weird.
We don't eat ranch here, dude.
Ranch is so good. Anyways, by the way, we're really getting into divergent territory here. Bring back the Cooler Ranch Cheesy Gordita Crunch at Taco Bell. I hate that they got rid of that. Taco Bell does this shit all the time. They take away a fan favorite for no reason at all. And I don't know if Shane actually just recently turned me on to the Taco Bell subreddit. A good really subreddit to follow. Good stuff. Yeah. And they often lament the retiring or sending to pasture of beloved items like the Cooler Ranch, cheesy gordita crunch. Doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. Anyways, we were at number 4 for the. That's a little preview. Shane and I were a long time ago. We're going to start a movie podcast, and we were going to talk about our little rules. I think one day, Shane, if we ever get super rich, we'll make a.
We'll just start the most like insane movie theater in existence.
It really it's just catered to just what you and I would like.
Yeah.
I love how we're thinking about this. Like, obviously, the people would come because it's a very specialized experience, but so specialized that it only is for us.
Maybe one day we can buy the Vista. I know Tarantino just bought it, and I'm kind of pissed because it's one of my go-to movie theaters, and I'm like, I don't want to just watch a bunch of.
You got to aim for the stars. That's not the target. You know what the
target is. Are we aiming for the AMC 30 South Barrington, Illinois?
No, man. Oh. We're aiming for we got to go for that Cinerama Dome.
Oh, absolutely beautiful.
That's on Hollywood and Vine, essentially.
Yeah, that's where the ArcLight is right now.
Right, it's iconic. It's the thing that looks like a giant golf ball. Mm-hmm. It's like a smaller Epcot looking thing.
Absolutely gorgeous theater. Gorgeous.
It's incredible. I will say the viewing angles of that place. Talk about seating arrangement. You really.
I know my place there.
You need to be in the strike zone, or if you're out, it's not a great experience. I'll just say that.
I like to be
a curved screen.
I like to be on the floor, closest to the center section as I can, on an aisle.
Mari and I saw in that exact spot we saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at 6:45 in the morning.
Beautiful.
It was great.
We were also. You were there the same night. I think we were both there. We were sitting together. Yeah. Rogue One, yeah.
And that was a bad. We were in a bad spot. We were way too far back. We kind of dropped the ball on the tickets purchasing because I remember we bought that at our desk at the time.
Whoa! Glasgow has the tallest cinema in the world.
That can't be true. Is that true?
A show where you guys go to cinemas around the world. That's the show.
And rank them. I would fucking love it. That'd be
good
show ever.
We just go and watch it. We go to cinemas around the world and we judge them by the viewing experience of us watching Tenet at every single theater.
What will we call it? Tentative reviews.
Absolutely perfect. That's lovely.
I got to look up this Glasgow fact. I've pronounced this word wrong so many times in the Queen Mary episode of Unsolved. Is it Glasgow?
Based on what I've heard, Stuart Murdoch from Belle and Sebastian, I think he says Glasgow. And the motion picture Ratcatcher also there. But, weigh in, guys.
Biggest movie theater screen in the world. Sydney, Australia.
Oh.
Panasonic IMAX Theater at Darling Harbour. It's the largest fixed projection screen in the world. 117 feet by 97 feet.
You guys gotta go.
I will say, I thought the record still was the Metreon in San Francisco. Because I know it was in California, I know it was the Metreon.
Glasgow.
Then it was Irvine Spectrum and then City Walk. Glasgow.
With a Z. Glasgow. Glasgow. Sorry, everybody.
Glasgow. That's how I say it.
Wait, what? There's so many different. Now one person saying that the biggest theater is in Ontario.
I'm sure they're just like one-upping each other constantly.
This one in China is 113.5 feet, not as long, but that's nearly as wide as the Boeing 737's wingspan, which is pretty wild. I guess still is Sydney. I mean, I've always wanted to go to Australia, so maybe I have a reason even more so to go see that screen. See,
I really wanted to go there.
If you would have told me you would have seen it there, Shane, 1917, then I would have been like, fair game. But I'm assuming you just saw.
Here's the thing. Like I said, I wouldn't do that when I was visiting a place for the first time. But since I had just by sheer luck been able to go to England numerous times over the past 5 years, I was like, well, I've been here enough that I want to go see a movie here. And it was cool. It was really fun. It was really fun.
I guess so.
I also love seeing movies alone. Yeah, I did it a
actually
lot
enjoy
in my
that
youth.
too. I used to, but I mean, I also like going to Disneyland alone. So
I've never done that. That sounds freaky,
it's great.
but it
I
sounds
mean,
nice.
I don't often do that much. I usually just sit down on a park bench and watch the ambiance unfold. But James L says he's being gaslit.
I'm not sure by whom, but we would like to wish.
It's because
Oh,
James is saying
it's
that
Carlisle's
he was the
Carlisle's birthday
tallest,
is.
not the biggest.
The tallest.
Glasgow is the tallest theater, not the biggest.
Oh, I see, James. I didn't see what they said earlier, but
Carlisle, happy birthday. I hope you get a very large cake.
oh man, Limlaugh Love says if you go to Amsterdam, go to the, I don't know how to pronounce that, but there's a screen there and it's beautiful. And I'm sure that it'll be extra beautiful if I partake in some of the other culture around Amsterdam. A little space cake action. You know what I mean?
Are there beavers there?
James.
Have you? What have you done, Ryan?
What have
you done?
I gaslit James. I can't remember. I think it's about the movie screen. I think biggest, tallest, those are pretty much like interchangeable, to be fair.
That's true. I mean, Shane is tall, but not big.
No, I would say Shane is both big and tall.
Okay, he's very tall, but he's not like gigantic.
You know what, though? I'm pretty lucky to be mostly proportionate for my height. You know, some people look like they got stretched like a big noodle. And for the most part, I'm most like, aside from my big, giant, weird legs.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if I agree with you. Feels
okay.
Your legs definitely feel like they got.
All right, I guess I shouldn't have spoken.
There's a guy your size, and he is more proportionate than you, and I've seen him in person. Jason Segel was the most proportional.
Oh, I've seen him in person too, and he looks like a fucking ogre.
I mean, his body's proportioned though. Like, he like. I think if you saw him in a picture, like standing in a field with no one around him, you would think, "Oh, that's a normal-sized man, probably." Well, like no other like indicators of how tall he is, like nothing to reference him to.
I see. You know where I saw him at the Huntington Gardens.
Oh, beautiful garden.
Absolutely gorgeous.
What
else we got here?
There's a place where beavers are a protected species. I gotta go. I've already told the story of how pissed off I was when I went to Canada.
Gotta go.
No beavers. It's fucking bullshit.
Where'd you go in Canada? Banff?
I went to Banff, and then I also went to Calgary. And I've been to Vancouver as well, and 0 beavers in the wild.
Well, you got to track them down. You know, I could find them in my hometown. I saw them a few times in Schaumburg, Illinois.
I've never seen one. I realized I don't think I've ever seen one in like a zoo. Granted, I don't really go to
Surely you have.
I don't think I have.
That's messed up.
Do they keep them in cages at zoos?
No.
Sure they do. They don't keep them in cages, but they keep them in habitats. Yeah.
I know there's that one beaver that was rescued on YouTube, and they put him in a nice little like a thing.
I haven't seen him. That sounds great.
Pond. There was like a GoFundMe to make a pond for him.
Do they ever post like slap vids of him just slapping that big old thing on the water?
You just missed it in Watcher Weekly Plus as a little spoiler here. I talk about what my superpower would be, and if I was a beaver, I would want the smacking of my chunky little tail to be seismic.
Was the question, what would your superpower be if you were a beaver?
No, it was like, what would your superpower be if you were a video game character? And somehow it came along that I would be a beaver. I think Steven may have suggested that. And I was saying that I want my chunky tail slap to be seismic, like a Hulk smash. Or like
I like
a
that.
wave. Like that's like a wave of like force being pushed.
Would you not want it to be like a bat signal, like a beaver signal, where you do that and then the beavers come out?
Oh, it could be that. It could be a bunch of things. I could have different settings for the chunk.
No, you can only choose one setting.
You know, like one's the seismic Hulk smash setting that like cracks the ground, and then there's another one I could do like Morse code.
It's like that rat. What's the name in Suicide Squad? The rat woman.
Rat catcher.
Right. Yeah, she's just like calls the rats out. You could be that for beavers.
Oh, whoa, guys! I'm looking at beaver facts right now.
Lay 'em on.
And now I really want to track one of these down and squeeze it, because here's what it says. Beavers secrete a goo that smells like vanilla.
Why do they secrete the goo?
It says, in fact, it's sometimes used in vanilla flavorings. Castoreum is a chemical compound that mostly comes from a beaver's castor sacs, which are located under the tail. That sounds like ass cream. It is
ball.
secreted as a brown slime that's about the consistency of molasses and smells like musky vanilla. It's an FDA-approved natural flavoring.
Ugh.
I want to put that on a cake.
Do you?
Yeah.
Actually, Victor, that's what you should be going for is some beaver cream on your cake.
That kind of sounds like when a dog doesn't have its anal glands secreted and it drags its ass on like the carpet and it puts out the goo. I would never be like, let's slap that on a bagel.
I mean, that's your that's your call. I mean, that's to your detriment because it sounds like it's delicious. They use it in actual vanilla flavoring.
Wait, there was somebody said something about Aaron Vadinsky. They said, Ryan, what would you say is disproportionate about Shane? Are you still hung up on how big his head is? That's part of it, but it's the legs plus the head that I think really, sells it for me in terms of like odd shaped man.
What if your superpower as a beaver was you secreted butter for popcorn?
Wait, I'm a beaver still?
Yeah, you're a beaver, and instead of slapping that tail, you secrete butter.
I don't know. I really want that tail slap. Oh man, if I was a beaver and I didn't have any superpowers, but I still did have that chunky tail, I would make pizza. I would just get balls of dough and I would just smack it with my little tail and it would just make little pies.
That's pretty good.
Oh, great.
Beaver butter.
Well,
Beaver
it's
butter.
the end of the week. Not week. End of the time here. Shall we answer one more question before we get out of here?
Let's do one more. I can't stop thinking about that beaver butter.
Disgusting.
Yeah. And then you fry up the beaver too.
Oh, what? Why?
I don't know. Do people eat beavers? They do like the Oregon Trail.
I hope not. Beavers are apparently. Oh, I'm thinking of porcupines. I watch Alone a lot too.
Can you eat beavers?
I hope not.
I heard there's a new season of You. Is Mari in it, by the way?
Is what?
New season of You?
She's not. No,
Okay.
they relocated.
Gotcha. Not in LA.
Beaver meat doesn't sound good, honestly. It says it's kind of similar to rabbit, but it's a little chewy.
Good. I hope it doesn't taste good at all. I don't want anyone eating my beavers. Here's an old question. Itself Angeles says, this is an old cue. If you were trapped in a desert island, who would be the first co-founder you'd choose to eat? Probably
I
Steven.
feel like we answered this on a Watch Weekly a long time
I
ago.
think I would taste the best.
I think you would taste the best.
You would. You eat
I
a
would
lot of
taste-
fine foods.
Like awful, I feel.
I'd offer myself up for sure.
Also, I feel like I would just be like really stiff,
Yeah, you have like the muscles of like a stressed cow.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be like this steak tastes like a sandal.
A stressed cow.
But Steven would
This
be
tastes factory farmed.
Steven would be, just marinated in truffle butter. and
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
like inherently. So
Yeah, free range, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
myself.
and I don't have enough meat on my bones.
no, yeah.
I think that's the one thing we can all agree on.
You'd be like one of those chicken wings you get every now and then that has no meat.
Yeah, where
on it.
you're like,
You're just
excuse
like,
me, I paid for
yeah,
this?
yeah,
I paid for
fuck.
this.
I paid for a 6-wing meal, not 5.5.
Yeah. Well, this has been, boy, we really played the hits this week. We talked movies,
According to us.
Beavers, Tenet.
Yeah. We certainly amused ourselves. Hopefully it was amusing for you guys as well. If not, I apologize. It's been a long week.
For nothing, we don't apologize for this. I am dying here because of these hiccups.
Go
But
chug some beaver butter.
we gotta wrap this up. We're out of time, Shane. Unless you want to answer another question.
I don't got anything else. I gotta finish up some stuff for Puppet History, so I gotta get out of here.
Whoa, is that a spoiler? Give us one.
I mean, that I'm
spoiler.
working on the episode still. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it's
Alright.
gonna be a wild ride. All right, but hey, thank you all for your support. Couldn't be doing this without you. Next month, hopefully we'll all be in the office. I was supposed to be there today, but it got kind of screwy because I've had some stuff to deal with. But hey, so thank you all, and we'll see you soon.
See ya. See ya, little sea dogs.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.